Everybody would like to have a waterfall in their garden, and something like the Victoria Falls would be really great, but it just is not possible. So many create a smaller, much smaller version, including a pond with fish and plants. The reason is clear. The sight and sound of moving water is very peaceful. Many people arriving home from a hard day at the office or other workplace would love to unwind with a glass of wine sitting by their beautiful garden pool. How relaxing to gaze into the clear, limpid water and observe those gorgeous fish, and even in a wildlife pond such delights as newts and dragonflies. How awful then to come back home, pour the wine, step into the garden and find this. What a perfectly dreadful sight. Where did it all come from? It wasn't there last week, but there it is, horrible and green and altogether perfectly unsightly. Well, I happen to know what it is, and its professional name is Spirogyra adnata, and in fact it isn't a weed at all, it's an algae. There are several of these algae that infest ponds and lakes, and they are often introduced to the water by birds, particularly the heron. The most likely candidate is the heron because this protected bird can carry the spores of blanketweed on its feet and transfer them to the pond simply by standing in it. Like many things in nature, blanketweed has its beautiful sight. Now, of course, comes the task of removing the blanketweed. Take my tip and don't pull it out. If you do, the spores in the weed will simply drop to the bottom of the pond and the whole process will start all over again. The answer is green lightning. Green lightning comes not in a beautifully printed plastic bag, as shown here. This has just been produced for promotional purposes, and because we really don't want to use environmentally unfriendly plastic, it actually comes in a water-soluble bag. So, depending on the size of the pond or lake to be treated, just throw the prescribed amount of bags into the water. They will quickly dissolve and release trillions of specially selected bacteria. These in turn will consume the very nutrients such as nitrites and nitrates which blanketweed thrives on. Being now starved of its essential requirements, the blanketweed will die off and disappear, leaving the water crystal clear. Fortunately, there are absolutely no side effects with green lightning, and it is totally safe for both flora and fauna, with the exception, of course, of blanketweed.